This is the creepiest girl in 100 years of Solitude. She carries a sack around with her. And get this, it's filled with her parents' bones. Two leather merchants brought her to Macondo in a donkey cart. They also delivered a letter saying she's Buendia's distant cousin, Rebecca. Ursula, feeling sorry for her, decides to take her in. But no matter what she asks, Rebecca just keeps on rocking. They have no idea that Rebecca's about to become the town's worst nightmare. Ursula settles Rebecca in her daughter Amaranta's room. Curious Amaranta opens Rebecca's sack. Even weirder, Rebecca refuses to eat a single bite. She silently grabs the wriggling sack and heads back to her room. At night, she doesn't sleep, just sits in the rocking chair, rocking non-stop. The other kids are freaked out. Aureliano, though, realizes Rebecca is the visitor he foresaw 3 months ago. The next morning at breakfast, Rebecca, who hasn't eaten for a whole day, just stares at her bowl without moving. Buendia tries to convince her to try Macondo's best yam porridge, but she pushes the bowl away. Ursula finally loses her patience and threatens Rebecca, saying she can't leave the table until she eats. But Rebecca is surprisingly stubborn. Ursula's furious. She orders the servants to take away Rebecca's sack and puts her in timeout. Come nighttime, Rebecca suddenly jumps out of bed and runs off. Curious Amaranta follows her to the courtyard and sees a bizarre scene. Rebecca's crouching on the ground, shoving handfuls of dirt into her mouth. Soon, the whole family is shocked by Rebecca's behavior. Ursula carefully tries to stop her, but finally, at dawn, the Buendia family manages to catch Rebecca and tie her to a chair. Ursula tries to force medicine down her throat, but as Rebecca struggles fiercely, she suddenly starts talking. Ursula doesn't get angry. Rebecca throwing a tantrum seems more like a normal kid. She tells Rebecca in a gentle voice that she'll let her go if she just takes one sip. Rebecca finally obeys, but then her stomach makes a rumbling noise, and she lets out an earth-shaking burp.
Gracias, mamá. Mi niña.
Just like that, Rebecca's back to normal. It's like she's a different person. Lively, cheerful, and can't stop talking. She quickly becomes part of the family, and Ursula's favorite. This makes Amaranta jealous. She even considers throwing her food bowl like Rebecca used to.
Aló.
However, that night, two servants are woken up by a mysterious creaking sound. They find Rebecca back in the rocking chair, rocking away. They think she's sleepwalking, but then the maid recognizes this as a strange illness called the Insomnia plague. She immediately starts performing rituals to ward off evil spirits. The male servant, scared out of his wits, runs away in the middle of the night. But the Buendia family doesn't take it seriously. They don't believe in a contagious disease that could keep people awake forever. Meanwhile, Rebecca secretly dips her finger in syrup to eat sugar, but the servant stops her right away. Ursula thinks the servant is too superstitious and continues to make candy with the syrup Rebecca touched, selling it at the market. Ursula's candy has always been popular. The people of Macondo love it. However, after eating the candy, people gradually become more and more energetic. And by nightfall, no one feels sleepy at all. At first, everyone enjoys this state, thinking they'll have more time for work and play. Macondo briefly turns into a bustling town that never sleeps. But as time goes on, the downsides of not sleeping start to show. Buendia suddenly realizes that everyone's memory is starting to fade uncontrollably. They can't even remember the names of tools they use every day. To deal with the memory loss, Aureliano comes up with a clever idea: labeling everything. But this solution doesn't last long either. People forget not just the names of things, but also their concepts. Eventually, they'll forget how to read too. Buendia realizes things are out of control when his friend forgets who he is. Women even mistake their husbands for dirty old men sneaking into bed. The whole town falls into chaos. People forget ethics and morals, becoming almost crazy. The insomnia is stripping away people's self-awareness. If this continues, all of Macondo will be destroyed. In this crisis, an old man with white hair arrives in Macondo. It's Buendia's dead friend Melquiades, who's returned to the world of the living because he couldn't stand the loneliness. But Buendia doesn't recognize him anymore. Melquiades immediately goes to the alchemy lab to make a potion. Buendia drinks it and regains his senses. But the next moment, he falls into a deep sleep. Then, Melquiades gives a spoonful of the potion to everyone else. Finally, the whole town is filled with the sound of snoring, driving away the terrifying insomnia plague. Time flies, and Buendia's getting on in years. Melquiades sticks around to witness the family's fate enter a new cycle. Aureliano's grown up, but he's still the quiet type, spending his days cooped up in the lab. Rebecca's turned into a real beauty, with flawless skin and mesmerizing eyes. Amaranta's plain-looking, but has a graceful, ladylike air about her. As for Arcadio, he's built strong and rugged like his dad, Jose. Melquiades whips up a camera and wants to snap a family photo of the Buendias. Ursula's not having it, refusing to be in the picture, cause she doesn't want her middle age spread on record. She sends Arcadio off to change clothes, getting him out of the way. Arcadio's bummed about missing the photo op. He never quite feels like he fits in with the family. Even though they're blood related, he still doesn't know who his parents are. The old guard's about to exit stage left, while the young guns are bursting with hormones. Aureliano's buddies always rag on him for being a virgin, and he's starting to cave under the pressure. In a moment of weakness, he hands over his chemistry supply money to a madam. Aureliano, all nervous, pushes open the door, only to be greeted by a baby-faced girl. When he learns she'll be servicing 70 clients a day for the next decade to pay off her debt, he's shell-shocked. His mood for fun evaporates instantly. He leaves all his cash and splits, feeling all kinds of messed up. His weird sixth sense tells him to steer clear of women. But little does he know, his love life's about to take off. Rebecca and Amaranta are like flowers ready to bloom, thirsting for love. Seeing her daughter's alluring figures, Ursula realizes it's high time they got hitched. She dips into her savings to renovate and expand the house. The whole family's bustling with activity again, like old times. Meanwhile, Buendia's gone camera crazy. He's obsessed with this gadget that can freeze time, snapping pics all over Macondo. He gets this wild idea. Could the camera capture God on film? To throw a dance, Ursula special orders a piano from the big city. Along comes Pietro, the piano player. Rebecca and Amaranta are instantly smitten with this dashing, fashionable gentleman. This chance encounter kicks off years of emotional drama between the three of them. Pietro offers to teach the girls to dance as a bonus for buying the piano. Ursula wants to say no, but can't resist her daughter's pleading, so she lays down some rules. Arcadio has to chaperone.
Hay nada de tocarse.
Por supuesto.
But once the music starts, Ursula's words go in one ear and out the other. The music draws in Buendia too. Watching the keys jump on their own, he is convinced God's hiding inside this big box.
¿Estás viendo?
¿Qué cosa?
Su honra.
Tú no sabes qué inventar para andarte preocupando, ¿verdad? Tipo es marica.
A week later, Pietro leaves. He takes Amaranta and Rebecca's hearts with him. But sisters falling for the same guy? That's a recipe for disaster. At night, Buendia tears the piano apart. Even in middle age, his curiosity's off the charts. Ursula's fuming because she's throwing a dance tomorrow to find suitable husbands for her daughters. Buendia manages to fix the piano just in the nick of time before the party starts. All the old-timers who founded Macondo with Buendia show up, along with their love-struck kids. Rebecca's dancing on autopilot, daydreaming that her partner's morphed into Pietro. When she snaps out of it, she bolts. In the backyard veggie patch, she's back to her childhood habit of shoving dirt in her mouth to keep her loneliness and anxiety at bay. Just as the party's heating up, a letter arrives from the Colombian government demanding that Macondo's residents paint their houses blue to show support for the Conservative Party. Plus, they're sending a magistrate named Macondo to run things in Macondo. Buendia's livid.
¿Quién carajo es Apolinar Moscote?
No way is he letting politics tame Macondo or letting an outsider call the shots. Faced with the angry Macondo mob, Macondo coolly whips out his government-issued appointment papers, but Buendia couldn't care less about that bureaucratic nonsense, so Macondo goes for his gun to threaten them. The townspeople kindly escort the magistrate out of town, but he's not backing down. Before long, he's back in Macondo with his whole family and all their stuff, plus a squad of soldiers. Looks like Macondo's years of peace are about to get shaken up. And there, sitting in the back of the wagon, is a girl who catches Aureliano's eye as he passes by. It's like she's stolen his soul in an instant.